Hey everyone, I'm Brad. Welcome to That Makes Sense, uh, the YouTube channel about synthesizers, electronic music, 80s electronic dance music, 80s electronic music, 90s, till now. We're continuing to part 4 of our Depeche Mode vinyl box set. This one is Some Great Reward. This Some Great Reward box set, vinyl box set. I wanted to talk about some of the differences between the European releases and the releases in the US, and some of the differences, what's in the Depeche Mode vinyl box sets, and where there might be some things lacking or missing in the box sets. So hopefully, if you're a Depeche fan, great. If you want to learn about Depeche and these things, let me know. I like this stuff just because I grew up with it. I didn't start listening to Depeche Mode until the early '90s, but in 91, 92 ish, they started releasing the CD box sets, which was basically re-releases of their 12 inches from the 1980s. And so back in the day, I started, when I was old enough and had a little bit of spending money, I actually started going out and to the record shops and finding these records. And we're talking about the early to mid 90s, when there wasn't, I didn't have access to, the internet wasn't out, like it is today. So, but I would find them. I would find the releases. And as I was looking at the box sets, the track listings on the CD single box sets, I would realize that some of those track listings were different than what was on the vinyl releases. So, and not only to add more confusion, like you would know that like the European imports had a different track listing than the U.S. Imports, or not the U.S. releases. So really, I think it's interesting what they've done back in the day. I just wanted to help let people know what's out there, some of the differences. So talking about Some Great Reward. But before we do that, I wanted to bring up the album, the US album, People Are People. And I don't have the original cover. I briefly talked about this in the previous video on the box set for releases for Construction Time Again. And I was trying to remember if People Are People, the album, the US album, came out before the US release of Some Great Reward, which also had the song People Are People. And from my research, I found out that in 1984, the People Are People US album came out first before Some Great Reward. And the reason why I think that is when People Are People came out, when it was released, Mute realized that they might have some. They've been trying to hit the U.S. market for a long time, and they might have a hit U.S. song with People Are People. So rather than waiting, 6 months to release People Are People in the U.S. with Some Great Reward, they would take their some of the Depeche Mode existing songs, coupled with People Are People, and put it into an album, People Are People, which is actually a collection of the new single, the new song People Are People, along with previously released Depeche Mode songs. So let's take a look at the track listing of People Are People, the US release. So the first track, People Are People. Second track is Now This Is Fun, the 7-inch B-side from Construction Time Again. Has Lovin' Itself, which is a single from Construction Time Again. Work Hard, which is a B-side from Construction Time Again, and this is a 7-inch version, I believe. And Told You So, which is a album track from Construction Time Again, and I believe Told You So may have been written by Alan Wilder. I'm not 100% sure. I think he wrote The Landscape is Changing, but Alan Wilder, he was definitely on board by the time Construction Time came about, and he started to write a couple songs. Then we have the single release on side B, side 2 of People Are People album in the US. It contains Get the Balance Right, which is a non-album track. In the previous video, I talked about Get the Balance Right. It's in the Construction Time Again box set, but it's not on the Construction Time album. It was one of those songs that I think, for whatever reason, Daniel Miller, the producer of Depeche Mode, not producer, but the owner of Mute Records, he said, "Hey boys, we need another single." So that's how Get the Balance Right came about. And then we talk about Leave in Silence. It's track number 2 on People Are People. On the B side, there's my cat, sorry. This is a 7-inch version of Leave in Silence. So if you listen to A Broken Frame, at least on the US version, and I believe on the European version, it's got the 12-inch, a longer remix, extended remix of Leave in Silence. So it's a different version. The 7-inch version is a little bit different than the album, a little bit less dancey. Then track 3 on side 2 is Pipeline, an album track from Construction Time Again. And then we've got Everything Counts on the album People Are People. There's my cat again. The version of Everything Counts on the People Are People album is not the 7-inch version. It is the 12-inch version. So it's basically an album of previously released songs, but it has the addition of People Are People. So with this album, obviously, they were trying to hit the U.S. market and hopefully drum up some excitement for 6 months later in September of '84 for the release of Some Great Reward. All right, so let's take a look at the what the releases are in the Some Great Reward box set vinyl releases. Talking about the U.S. and versus U.S. and UK releases. This is where you start to see some differences, some big differences between the U.S. releases and the European releases. And also what's unique is we've got some remixes, live remixes, called the On U.S. Sound remixes, mixes on U.S. Sound, mixes from Adrian Sherwin, who obviously did work for Depeche. I don't know if he mixed some of the stuff, the live shows back in the day. But I wanted to talk about that. None of the on US Sound mixes were released, I don't believe, officially in the US, but hold on, let me hold that thought. I take that back. They were on, we'll talk about that. At least one of the mixes were released officially in the U.S. So we're going to start out with People Are People. This is, I think, from the Depeche Mode vinyl box sets. These are largely based on the official European releases in the UK. Some of the countries like France and Germany, as we saw before, some of the things may have been a little bit different. But here is the box set release, and it contains People Are People, different mix, and In Your Memory, the Slick mix. So here's the back of this. The People Are People different mix, it is basically a 12-inch extended version. Matter of fact, if you watch the People Are People music video, it's the different mix. It's like the 12-inch version, the extended version. The In Your Memory, this is a B-side written, I believe, by Alan Wilder. And I think Alan Wilder's nickname was called Slick. So hence the name, the Slick Mix. So let's compare that to the official U.S. release back in 1984 of People Are People. Now, here's the U.S. I mean, the cover and stuff, very similar. Let's see the track listing though. So, the U.S. release has 3 tracks. People Are People, the different mix, which is the 12-inch version as well. That's on the UK version. Here is the difference. The People Are People US on US sound, U sound remix. And this was done by Adrian Sherwin. And what's unique about this is, I think basically they created a remix. Adrian created a remix that had a live version that kind of remixed in with People Are People. So, and it's been a little while since I've listened to this, but yeah, that is a difference, at least. And then we have In Your Memory, the B-side of People Are People, the Slick Mix edit. So that is 4 minutes long. Let's see how long the Slick Mix is from the box set. And because I know there's 2 versions, there's like the 7-inch version and a 12-inch version of In Your Memory. I don't know which version is on the box set. I assume looking at it, looks like the 12-inch mix. So I think, you've got the 7-inch version, which is the edit at 4 minutes long. And then I know there's an extended version just because I know the box set. So that is People Are People. But also we've got another thing, a couple more releases of People Are People. And that is what was released in Europe. And I have never seen this original record from back in the day, but this is from the box set. So what it contains is People Are People and In Your Memory. So the original 7-inch mixes. But then, special edition, it has the On US Sound remix by Adrian Sherwin. So basically, it contains what's on the U.S. version. So it's really not all that pretty, but basically it's a European release of the European version. But it does not contain the different mix. I believe the People Are People that's on here is a 7-inch mix in the box set. So you have the 7-inch mix, the single version, as well as the 12-inch. And People Are People, the 7-inch, is the same version that's on the album. So yeah, that is People Are People. So let's go to the next track. Let me move the records kind of out of the way here. The next single off the box sets, or from Some Great Reward, is Master and Servant. So here is a release of Master and Servant in the box set. It's got the Slavery Whip Mix, which is the 12-inch version. So on the track listing, you have the Slavery Whip Mix, this 12-inch version of Master and Servant extended version. You have the B-side, Set Me Free, Remotivate Me, which is an awesome B-side. This is the 12-inch version of that, basically, which is called the Release Mix. And then you have Master and Servant Boxless. Again, it's back in the 80s, especially the early 80s, from these earlier albums. The remixes really aren't like completely different. They basically took things from the original and tried different things. I would say this is more like a dub, or voxless means without vocals. So they made a version, a remix version without the vocals. It's been a little while since I've listened to this, but um, yeah, because they didn't. There was. I don't know. I don't think the technology was out there back in the day to completely recreate things. But you do with the Adrian Sherwin mixes, he was trying to change things up. And at least from a historical point of view, I think uh, Depeche Mode has to get some credit for changing the remixes up instead of just being a extended version. So what else do we have here? In the box set, we have the other European release of Master and Servant, which includes another on U.S. sound remix and this one's of Master and Servant. They call it the Science Fiction Dance Hall Classic Mix, and then also they have a song called "Our People Are People," which is a remix of "People Are People" by Adrian Sherwin, where he really kind of changed it around. Now, "Our People Are People," it's not. I don't think it's a really great remix, but here is, I think, at least from a historical perspective, is where remixes are starting to sound like remixes. They're not the same as an extended version. And then on the third song is "Set Me Free, Remotivate Me." It's a 7-inch version of "Set Me Free." So let's talk about, let me see if I can find it here. Here is hold on a second. My cat is going nuts here. So let me calm him down and then I will hop back on this, okay? All right. Hey, everyone, I'm back. This is my cat. Poor guy, he's had some health issues, and basically we have to make sure that he doesn't like scratch or lick himself because it can start taking the fur off. And so we had to put him on this like outfit because he can't damage his skin by that. And he couldn't. He was licking himself, and this is a new outfit for him. And he's trying to get out of it, and he got his feet stuck in there. So no wonder he was crying. Hopefully he's doing better. Are you doing better? Oh, okay. All right. Well, I gotta make a video here. Let me sit him down. Go from there. But anyways, talk about Master and Servant. One of the things in the U.S., and this is one of the, hold on a second. This is the original release from 1984 from the U.S. So we had, with Master and Servant, we had, in the U.K., they had the Slavery Whip Mix. In the U.S., they had the U.S. Black and Blue version. So let me just show you the two. This is from the box set, the brown one. We've got the blue one on the U.S. So what is different about this? It is, there's a remix in the U.S. called the U.S. Black and Blue version. It's somewhat similar to the 12-inch Slavery remix of Master and Servant that came out of the U.S. It's a little bit different, but it's very similar. It was remixed by Joseph Watt. I'll show you the back of it. But the track number 2 is the 12-inch mix of "Remotivate Me" and it's by Joseph Watt. So I think this version is actually different than the version of "Set Me Free, Remotivate Me" on the European version. So the European version, there was a release mix. On the U.S. version, there is "Set Me Free, Remotivate Me" 12-inch mix edited by Joseph Watts. So I think there is a difference. The Joseph Watts mix is 759. I don't know what the release mix on the UK, but I think there is a little bit of difference. I mean, they're very slight. And then we've got Our People, the Adrian Sherwin, basically US on sound mix. So that is one of the differences with the US release from Some Great Reward. And then the last and final single, 1 second here. The last and final single from Some Great Reward is Blasphemous Rumors. And, okay, so we'll show you what's in the box set version, and which is correspondent with the UK releases. I'm looking at them. It's like, okay, so I think this was the first one to come out, and it's basically Blasphemous Rumors, Somebody, which was from Some Great Reward, and then there's 2 live tracks, Told You So, which was from Construction Time, and Everything Counts, also from Construction Time. And then you can look on the back here. And then you have this other record is Blasphemous Rumors. And I know that there's like basically a 12-inch version, a single version. It really doesn't explain on these records which is which. I'd have to take a look at the time on them. But basically, at least on the US version, there's a little bit slightly longer version of Blasphemous Rumors on Some Great Reward, which is not a big difference from the 7-inch, but so you have Blasphemous Rumors and then the live version of Somebody, 2-Minute Warning, and Ice Machine, and Everything Counts. So that is this one. And so the live versions are 2-minute of Somebody, 2-Minute Warning, Ice Machine, and Everything Counts were recorded in the Empire Theatre, Liverpool on September 29th, 1984. So basically they were taking kind of the same sort of formula from the Construction Time B-side live sets, creating mini albums as the French version showed, kind of applying that to Blasphemous Rumors here. Now, another original release that I have is Blasphemous Rumors from back in the day. The one right here, this is original, this is the box set. So let's take a look at any differences. So again, you have Blasphemous Rumors, and then the live version of Somebody, 2-Minute Warning, Ice Machine, and Everything Counts. So this is a European version. I think I don't know if there's an original release of Blasphemous Rumors for the US. Either way, I don't have it. But I think it's very similar visually. So yeah, I don't think there's a big difference with the Blasphemous Rumors, especially because this is the UK version, which is what's on the box set. So, okay, that's it. That's it for Some Great Reward. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for putting up with. Thank you for putting up with my cat. But here is the mini poster for the Depeche Mode box set for Some Great Reward. Blasphemous Rumors. All right. Thanks, everyone.